Folks, let me read a verse for you out of the book of Ecclesiastes chapter 3 and verse 1. It says this, "To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. A time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, and a time to pluck up that which is planted." And on it goes there. Folks, Doc is in the studio. This is the beginning of January, and somewhere around the 15th, 16th, 17th when you watch this, Doc and I are going to give our view of what we think may be coming this year in the year 2022. Stand by. All right, welcome everybody. Crossing the Spotlight. I'm your host, Brother Dan Goodwin. Sitting with me, as usual, Dr. Charles Hiltibidal.
Amen.
Doc, it's a new year. This is 2022.
Not much different.
And I woke up the next day after January began, and it felt the same. But I think there's some serious issues headed our way.
I think it's pretty obvious.
I think 2020 was bad. 2021 was badder, and I think 2022 is going to be badder or whatever.
Yours badder as the people with the new terminology with their fingers.
Well, we better laugh now because I'm telling you, there's bad stuff coming, isn't there?
I'm convinced that the stage has been set to make that happen.
I have a scenario that I don't dare talk about on TV.
Yeah, we're not going there.
I've told you about it briefly, and I don't even want to think about that scenario. But I think it could happen. But that's for another venue. Yeah. If it happens, it happens. It just means we're that much closer, and
we're getting closer.
But the days of us being in America and being safe and being freedom of religion and freedom of speech, those days are gone.
They're fleeting fast.
And it didn't take long.
No, it didn't take long.
Was it Ronald Reagan said freedom is only one generation away? He was right. I don't think anybody believed him. But
well, it's obvious what we've watched it's hard to say last year because 22, but I'm telling you what happened to our churches, to Christianity as a whole in our world today. It changed itself.
Yeah, we became, and I hate to say this, the church became unimportant.
Oh yes, but the problem is it was already unimportant to the great number of the people that were sitting in the pews.
Yeah,
it was already take it or leave it.
Yeah.
Now that doesn't mean every church. There are some really good churches, and we need to be careful because many in our audience can easily be confused. We believe in a local church, and when we use the term church, we are not always using it in the same terminology.
We're talking about a physical body of believers who gather together.
Yes, where a lot of people believe it's an invisible encompassing of the worldwide all at one time, and that would be what the Bible would call the family of God, but not the church. And so
you're right.
Those terminologies can get...
Yeah, we're born into the family of God at salvation.
Yes.
But we're baptized, I believe,
that's right,
physically baptized into the body
into the
of
local
the church.
Yep. And but anyway,
I've written a book on that, but we don't discuss that too much in our circles.
But the stage, the surroundings around us, the whole world is moving toward a one world order. You know that. Yep. Our people that watch us know that.
And we've been preaching that for years and writing about it.
But now that we're living in
it,
it's another thing to have to live in it.
Yeah.
But this is the reality. And what began it started the year before, but last year, not only did the outside forces begin to change Christianity, they changed themselves.
Yeah.
Many of them have never gone back to full services. Many of them are still in some kind of an adaptation, trying to reach a little group or a little group there and there. Won't they just get back to being who they ought to be?
Yeah. And they said if you're not important, don't open.
Yeah.
And the pastors
said,
turned the light off, locked the door, and went home.
We've got enough money in the bank to pay my salary for the next X number of years. Okay.
Yeah.
I know that may sound cruel to folks, but I'm telling you, I've been at this thing 60 plus years, and I'm telling you, I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. And it's now, to their credit, some of the men of God came to themselves and realized, look, it's been 6 months.
Finally said, wait a minute.
What are we doing? And
they got back to it.
But it was tough then because...
Oh, yeah, it was very tough to get back. And a lot of people never came back to it.
You'd already told everybody you weren't necessary, so how do you all of a sudden become necessary? People drove by our churches for weeks and went to Home Depot and Walmart and the liquor store, and they looked over and the parking lot was empty, the church was closed. It was non-essential.
Yeah, and they might not even been going to church, but it was a testimony.
It said something to their head
something.
that the church it's okay for some people, but it's non-essential.
So what we're saying is last year set the stage for this year to, I believe, be cataclysmic.
And the only hope, and of course this has always been the only hope, is a revival of God's
got to get back to the book.
Yeah.
Got to get back to the book, yes.
Yeah. So there's some things coming this year. I've got some thoughts. You've got some thoughts. Do you want to start? You want me to start?
No, go ahead. Yeah.
All right, I'll give you one. Now these are things
I didn't write anything down.
We didn't have a dream. God didn't give us a vision. We don't know these things. We're just prophecy guys that do this for a living.
Yeah, but we've got
some thoughts.
We've got some insights into some things.
So we're just telling you what we think could be coming this year.
Yeah.
And first thing I wrote down was a financial crash or some sort of big financial change, a changeover, something.
I agree.
We can't continue down this road. If you're a homeowner and you continue to spend all your money, you don't pay your loan, and you don't save any money.
You're going to get evicted.
Yeah,
they're going to take it away from you.
You're going to lose your home to the bank, or the landlord's going to throw you out of your rental, or you can't pay for your car. You can't live that way. Now, people who own homes know that.
But the majority of the people, they don't understand. Hey, if the government wants to print another $1 trillion piece of paper, no big deal. They don't understand basic economy.
And they are doing that, and they can.
That's exactly
what
what
they're doing. But what happens is what we're seeing now is inflation. Yeah. All of a sudden, that $100 bill in your pocket that used to buy a certain amount of groceries now only buys half of those groceries. And I don't do the grocery shopping in my house, but I've seen it. I go to the stores from time to time. Yeah. My wife has told me that meat that we used to buy is now a lot more.
Well, everybody that pulls up to the gas station is understanding it, surely.
Yeah. That's the first sign that you actually can see is the gas pump.
Can see it, but it's everywhere.
It was under $2 when Trump was in
price of eggs, the price of milk, you name it, everything. And it's not that the commodity itself has gone up higher; it's the buying power of our fiat money.
Yeah,
and they don't understand. Most people don't understand. As long as I'm getting X number of dollars in my bank account, it's okay.
And the stock market is artificially inflated with fiat, fake money, and interest-free money that they're all using. Yeah. Once they raise the interest rates,
it's coming.
And it's coming.
It can't help. You're
going to see a mass exit. I read some stuff from some financial stock market guys, and this is what they said. When the interest rate is low, they leave the bond market and they go to the stock market. Mm-hmm. Because they can borrow money, go put it in the stock market, make money for free.
Yeah, don't cost them a dime.
It didn't cost them nothing. The money's interest free, just about. They stick it over here and it makes money. But when the interest rate goes up, now you got to pay more for that money. So it's risky to put it over there. But you can put it in the bond market. There's no risk in the bond market. But you don't make much there. But you make something. And so there'll be a big shift over.
There's going to be not only that, but the world stage itself is on the verge of collapse financially.
It is.
Every major nation, whether it's America or China or Russia, we're all following the same path as South America's done.
The whole world is paying their people to stay home. It's not just America. It's socialism.
And the whole bottleneck that's been created because of all of this for businesses. All of that could easily create what you're talking about, a financial collapse.
You're probably going to talk about this, but war is on the brink. the Ukraine, Russia, Iran,
Yep.
Syria. I mean, China and Taiwan. There's a powder keg
They
ready to explode.
already know if the current administration stays the course that it's going, they can do whatever they want to. All we'll do is just a bunch of talk.
So I believe we're going to see a nuclear explosion possibly this year.
It's possible.
Somewhere.
Somebody might be crazy enough. Somebody said the guy in North Korea has lost a whole lot of weight, so he may be sick. I don't know. But anyway, he'd be one that'd be stupid enough to pull a trigger, I think. But
or if somebody gets a nuke into the hands of Iran,
it
wouldn't be hard.
I'm not so sure. I'm really not so sure they don't have access to it already, but that'd be for another thought.
And we've talked about this before. To me, it's strange that it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah.
We're the only ones back in 1945 that attacked anybody with nukes.
I think everybody saw the devastation power then, and now what is it, 100 or 1,000 times more powerful than it was then? And they don't want to be the one responsible for destroying half of the world.
The hydrogen bomb came in 1952. It was 1,000 times more powerful. Now that's 70 years ago. What do we got now?
I don't want to know.
And I've read that some military people have said we have weapons that we're afraid to use. We don't even know what they'll do.
Sure.
So
war is imminent almost in.
So let's turn to some of yours. And I got one more that we'll share about.
Well, I think in America we're going to see a political shakeup. I know everybody's talking about the midterm elections, and they're all sold out on, boy, the conservatives are going to turn this thing back around because I thought today, the 27th, I believe it is, 24th or 27th Democrat has decided not to run for Congress again.
There's quite a few Republicans, too, that are not running.
But anyway, everybody thinks, boy, this thing's going to turn around and the conservatives will get in power again. I'm not sure that I'm not so sure that our political system will be stable enough to make it till November. I'm just not seeing it.
And they're talking about changing the filibuster.
If they do that, we've lost it.
And because the reason they want to do that is they want to introduce a new law and make the elections federal.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. If they do that, that's it. There'll be no more voter ID. There'll be no more.
That's going to bring you as a nation back to where we were in the Civil War.
All it's going to do is open it up to illegal people voting, and we'll never win again.
You know, everybody says, well, the Civil War is all about slavery. Well, not really. It was all about states' rights.
That's right.
And what you're now doing is trying to remove the state's responsibility and make it a federal mandate. I'm telling you, politically, America is at a major crossroads.
Now, I've got another one that I'm going to share, and I'm sure you've got some more, but let's stop right here and tell the audience a little bit about what we got going on.
Yes, they need to be aware.
We have finally, after a whole year or so of me talking about wanting to go on the radio, we are on the radio now. As of January 9th, we are now on over 40 radio stations across the country. You can go to the website, and you can find the listings of we're going to have a website, a page that you can click on, and you can see where all the radio stations are, what cities they're in, see if you're anywhere nearby one of those. And so we're pretty excited about this. This radio they're 15-minute programs. They're also here. They're also on YouTube. So if you watch our YouTube program, you will also find the radio program. The 15-minute show is going to also be on YouTube. But it's pretty exciting that people across the country can turn the radio on and find our program. We're hoping that we get a whole bunch of brand new listeners out there to our prophecy program. And of course, we have Rumble, we have podcast, channel. We got those going up every week now. We're still working on that, but it's there, and there are shows there you can listen to. Podcast is audio, just like radio. So a lot going on, and it costs money. So now, not only do we have the TV bill, Doc.
Yep.
Now we've been burdened with a radio bill. But I believe we were supposed to do it.
God gave us enough funds to get this started. He gave us enough funds to start the television 80 sessions ago.
Yeah.
And here we are today. He's given us funds and stuff. I really believe he's going to meet the need all the way
Yep.
through.
And I believe we're going to get some new partners who are going to want
Yes.
to be involved in this financially and prayer warriors with us. And but we've got an opportunity. My last book that I did on the kingdom, that some of the viewers may have that book. While I was having that printed, my publisher told me about my original book from back in 2014, God's Final Jubilee. Let me have that. Yeah, God's Final Jubilee. Anybody out there on TV land? Anybody remember that book? 2014. It's very possible that some of our viewers now didn't have this book because they came later on.
Well, you revised it.
Yeah, so this book has been revised. The Mystery of the Jubilee book pretty much takes its place. But this was the original one. We printed, I think we sold 12,500 of this book right here, and all across the nation. And ebooks and galore, thousands of ebooks came. This book put me on the map and got me out there and got me known. And I thank the Lord for that. And there's a foreword in it by the late Noah Hutchins. Before he died, Noah Hutchins loved me, and he did the foreword for the book. So what I did, my publisher said, "Look, we've got cases of these that were never put out because there's a couple small mistakes in here." For instance, on page 51, the page is down a line. Big deal. You probably wouldn't even notice it. So there's a few little typos like that. And so these didn't never get circulated. Well, I have several cases of them here in my office. And what we're going to do, you cannot buy these anywhere. They're not for sale anywhere. If you'd like to have one of the original books that got us on the map, got my ministry going, I'm going to sign it for you, whatever name is on the account that you buy when you buy it, or whatever name you tell me, I will sign the book and we'll mail this out to you for a gift, a donation gift of $50. We'll throw in some tracts with it and some bookmarks and things like that. And this is just a way for you to help us stay on the air and to be a blessing to us. And this will be a way to be a blessing to you. This would be a nice book to put on your mantle or on your bookshelf. And this is the original God's Final Jubilee book. You cannot buy this anywhere. So it's neat. It's got the two guys blowing the shofar down there. It just was an exciting book in the day that it came out. So that's on the website. All right, Doc. Let's. I've got another one that goes along with yours, and then I'm hoping you got a couple more things you want to share. There's the AI stuff. I'm not probably going to touch that. I don't know if you are, but it's not my area. I know it's there, and I know it's coming, and the chips in the head may be coming this year. That supposedly Elon Musk said it's coming.
They're already here.
Yeah. But I've got a big one here that you and I have talked about a couple months ago. We didn't do it on TV, though, so I think it's good that we bring this out. I think I'm the first one that I know of that talked about this. I think there are some other cross-sea networks
Several
talking
people now
about
are
it.
talking about it.
Okay. Well,
Very similar scenarios.
Now, they may have heard us. Maybe they got it on their own. I don't know. I'm not bragging that I got it first because maybe somebody else got it before me. But I'm the first one I know that began talking about what I think's coming, and I think it's coming this year. And that's the fact that I believe Kamala Harris, the vice president, is going to resign from office. And I think it's going to be pretty soon. It's got to be before the elections if we're going to have elections.
All you got to do is watch a little bit of the news and realize they're setting the stage for this right now.
Most of her staff, at least four of her staff people have resigned.
Yeah.
They've left. Yeah. And there's a lot of talk going on behind the scenes.
And the mockery even from the liberal media of her cackling laugh and all this other stuff.
Yeah. They don't
No,
like
they're
her.
setting the stage for this.
And I believe this was probably planned before the election anyway.
Why would you have selected somebody that couldn't even get a vote in the primary?
In the primary, she was the first to step down.
Yeah.
She was not popular. No, they chose her for VP for a reason. And of course, we know what happened in the election. We can't talk about it here on YouTube, but we can on television. But we're convinced that the election needs to be investigated. There needs to be some. Well,
this is television, so yeah. But you're right.
And I mean, you can't tell me the guy got 80 million votes. He couldn't get 20 people to come in a parking lot when he gave a speech. Right. The guy was put there.
Sure.
And she was put there.
She was put there.
And I believe the plan all along was he's old, he's losing his faculties. It's just a matter of time. He's not going to be able to do his job if he's even capable now.
He's not capable. I mean, he walked off the other day, and said, hey, so the federal government, we can't do this.
Yeah.
Even though I promised 10 times we'd do it, we can't.
And so just today, at the taping of this, this is the 4th of January as we're taping this, the report was the polls that they did for his likability, way down.
It's unreal.
And on the economy, he was way down in the 20s.
And
so they're ready to throw him under the bus. But first, she's got to go.
They got to get somebody prepared, though.
Because whoever the vice president is going to be the president very soon. Because he's not going to make it. He's going to have to step down.
That's the whole plan. Well, but it's a legal plan.
It is.
The 25th Amendment.
Now, here's how it works. I had to look this up. Here's how it works. When she resigns, the president nominates somebody. Now, he'll be told who to nominate. He's not pulling the
He's been
strings.
told what to do anyway.
He'll be told who that person is. It could be Hillary. Some people have suggested Hillary.
Well, you're watching her being...
She is right now being propped up.
You can see it.
She's in the limelight again.
You can't help but see it.
Personally, I don't think she's the one, but I could be wrong. When she resigns, when the vice president resigns, the president nominates somebody. Some people have suggested... the Rice woman.
Not Connolly's, but the other one.
The one that's in the Obama administration. Mm-hmm. And there's a few others people are talking about.
Sure.
When he nominates them, that doesn't make her...
I'm confident it'll be a woman.
It could be. It doesn't make that person the vice president. The nominee goes to Congress. The House and the Senate have to approve it. I think just a simple majority.
Well, who's got that?
And the Democrats got it.
Oh, well.
And who's going to vote against it anyway?
So that's a natural... Okay.
And so a person is going to become the vice president who was not voted on by the American people. Mm-hmm. It was someone who's nominated by an unelected, illegitimate president, nominates a person. Congress, who has lost their mind, is going to approve this person. Then the president either dies or he's taken out under the 25th or he resigns because of his health. And that person he nominated, it becomes the president, non-voted on by the American people. And now you can imagine how big this is.
I'm sure some of our people are with their mouths about this wide open. But this is a reality that is a great possibility.
I'm convinced. I'm not 100%, but I'm
and this
convinced
has got to
this
happen
is going to
before September of this year.
Before November. It's got to happen before the midterm election.
Well, I think the date is somewhere in September. Because before September, the second year, is when the previous election can be nullified. So it's got to be done before the end of September.
Okay. So, in other words, what I'm thinking is, if the November election happens and the Republicans win back to Congress, then that'd be the end of that. They're not going to vote in. No. They're not going to vote in someone they don't like.
This has all got to happen. To me, in my thing, I see the upheaval of all of this rapidly taking place.
I don't see him lasting much longer.
I don't see him lasting much longer.
He's gone downhill so fast.
No.
And I'll tell you when he's got to go is when the news media says it's time.
And they're already right now.
Yeah.
Even the most liberal of all of those medias out there already criticizing him over this, criticizing him. I'm telling you, the stage is being prepared.
So if you're the globalist elite out there, what are you looking at? You're looking at we've got to replace Kamala.
We're looking for.
That's how we get our.
We're looking for our
person.
Man or lady to put in this position.
So they've got to pick somebody who they want to head up this thing. Because whoever gets that spot's gonna.
That's it.
So, folks, you can be looking for that. I'm not a prophet. God hasn't woke me up and said, Dan, this is what's going to happen. This is just what I see. Yeah.
Well, I'm with you on this. I've been watching all of the scenarios play out, and I can see different individuals that are being brought up in areas. They may be the ones being prepared for it. I don't know, but the scenario is a great possibility of a reality.
So we got 3 or 4 minutes, Doc. Have you got anything else that you
touched on it a while ago? I think technology is going to jolt our world
this year.
Transgenderism is simply a single step toward the purpose of transhumanism, and they've already got the greater majority of the world sucked into transgender. Well, why not we just help them out? And the chips the things that they can now do technologically.
They're going to make you super smart by putting an artificial memory bank in you where you're going to be able to, just like we get on Google, they're going to be able to, in their mind.
Well, and there's television programs, there's movies that are out there that are all about the thing you're talking about, whether it's swallow a pill or whatever it is, to be super smart. It's all to move one step more. We're in charge of our own life. We're the God of our own life. We're in charge.
And that's where America's headed. America, through God,
the
a
entire
long time ago.
The entire world is headed there.
Yeah, and we were the only country in the world that was considered a Christian nation, and we've dropped the ball.
I don't see how anybody. I know there's some great Christians, there's some great preachers, some great churches, some great ministries. But honestly, Dan, when you back and take a big picture of the world, you cannot help but understand true Christianity, truly born again people. I don't know, do they even make 1 or 2% of the entire world's population?
Yeah. And again, we've talked about this before. At the rapture, I'm not sure there's going to be
I'm not
that
sure
many
there's going to
people
be
missing.
as big a thing missing. No.
There's nothing in the Bible that talks about any of that.
We live in our churches in a little world, and we think that this is what the world is. But I'm here to tell you, when you back away and see the entire picture, Christianity, true biblical Christianity, is I don't know if it's even 1% of the entire world.
Well, I want, in this minute we have left, I want Rex to put up my slide from our website. And the slide says this: what will you do in 2022?
Yep.
We've told you what we think's coming, may or may not, but we've given you some things that we think are coming. We've shared with some things that our ministry is doing. We're on radio now. We're doing podcasting. We got newsletters and all the different avenues and venues. We're trying to get the word out. That's what we're doing. But the question is, what will you do in 2022? Doesn't matter what the government does. It affects your life, I know, but what are you going to do for God? What would God have you do in 2022?
Amen.
I want you folks on the listening audience, I want you to think about that. What are you going to do this year? This may be it, Doc. This may be the last year.
And we need to be encouraged in the fact that God's still on the throne. He's the one that wrote the plan. The plan's going to work through. Let's just stay faithful that He calls us out of here.
First of all, make sure you're saved.
Yes.
Make sure that you truly know Jesus Christ as your Savior. If you ever got any question about that, contact us. We'll love to help you.
Yes.
What are you going to do? Some of you need to start getting involved. Get a Sunday school class. Get a bus route. Get involved teaching people. Get involved passing out tracts and sharing the gospel with people. What are you going to do in 2022? Well, until next time, keep your eyes on them skies.